out of the cup to Bromley on penalties with a corner being conceded. Now, where have I heard that before? And of course, Southampton are coming to Portman Road this Sunday, and we were also giving last year to Southampton. The Prediction League is heating up for members, and Friday night is our first no-holds-barred members-only show. But for tonight, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Oh, and of course, you'll hear bold takes that'll either make you cheer or make you want to throw your brew. But either way, it's Talking Town. Let's go. And joining me tonight is Mr. Tuxford and Mr. Matt Phillips. Mr. Tuxford, who is trying to plot how we take down Southampton on Sunday, and Mr. Phillips, who probably still isn't quite over last night's defeat. But as always, we want to hear from you wonderful people at home. So do get active in our live chat. Give us your thoughts, your feelings, your opinions, be it on Bromley, on the situation last night where Town did exit the cup, or whether it's on Southampton that's coming up this Sunday. Get active in our live chat. And to start you off, all right, I'm going to ask you a question, chat. Let me know your thoughts on this one. What would you have rather seen this season? A deep cup run or a guaranteed top six finish? That hopefully may put it into perspective. But as you get rolling with that, I'll kick off with our wonderful contributors. Tux, I'll ask you first and foremost, if you could erase one moment from last night, what would it be?
The scoreline, I think.
It's a fairly good one. The scoreline, yeah. I mean, there were some moments to erase there, Mr. Phillips. There were some big moments to erase.
Yeah, but I mean, also by the same token, you haven't got to do a very big deep dive into Ipswich history to see that we don't do very well against smaller opposition in cup competitions. So Bromley last night, Wimbledon the season before,
True.
Colchester 2 seasons before that, Maidstone, let's not go there, Wilderness
Exactly.
in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
So I don't really get why everyone was like just throwing their toys out. It's a really disappointing result. Annoying because we should be sweeping those kind of sides aside. But we do have history at this time of the year in this competition against that standard of opposition. And and Newport as well. Do you remember? Pullman Road, that was another one. So you're only going back sort of 4 or 5 years here, and we've named 5 or 6 clubs there.
All right.
So
yeah, no, fair point. Beard says league finish, but a good performance in the cup, even if we lose. 80 says, good evening, everyone. Well, it certainly wasn't at Bromley, with a big angry emoji. How has it come to this, says Sharon? Such a sad situation with Brody now seemingly on the way out for the football club. It must be really unsettling for the dressing room. New member, Dominic Dean. Dominic, thank you ever so much for being a member of Talking Town. We really honestly appreciate you. And Matt, I'll ask you a question. Murich has left the football club on loan. What are your thoughts on that one? Very briefly, what are your thoughts on Murich departing on loan?
Well, I mean, we've been discussing all through the summer, haven't we, that he'd probably go off somewhere, whether he'd be sold or loaned. And it turns out he's gone to a loan. He's gone to Sassuolo, who've just been promoted out of Serie B into Serie A, having done about a decade or so in the top flight. So they're probably kind of the Italian Brentford, Bournemouth, kind of that level, been in the UEFA Cup. So it's a pretty good move for him. And time away from Portman Road is probably going to help his career. And I would imagine if they stay up, they'll probably buy him and that will be it. But yeah, judging by Christian Walton's performance last season, we could have probably have done with Murich's takes from set pieces, because obviously that was our undoing for the first goal. But there we go.
It was. You keep coming back to Bromley, so we're going to just stay there a little bit. But first of all, Dominic Dean says there's something fundamentally wrong at the club at the moment. Last night we looked like a club under Paul Cook, and Sean says better wake up for Sunday. Embarrassing loss. Felt SHIT when I woke and had a bad day. Please Sunday, get it together. All right, look, I think we need none of those are therapists, right? But I think we need some therapy. I think we need to come together and just vent our frustrations, vent our emotions, and just lay it all out there and move on, turn the page and go again. All right. So we're going to call this fan therapy. Right. We've got 40 seconds each to get it all out about Bromley. All right. Just leave it out there. Tactics, selection, players, what went wrong. maybe you want to turn an event into a positive and go with what went right. You've got 40 seconds. The floor is yours. Matt, kick us off. Give us 40 seconds, and then you can turn the page, and you can never speak about this ever again.
But we will speak about it again because that's the nature of Talking Town. But I mean, it was a game of two halves, really, wasn't it? I mean, we always seem to rock up against these sides, certainly away from home, and almost treat it like it's a training game. Like the tempo was so slow, wasn't it, in the first half? I think Chaplin kind of alluded to that in his interview, didn't he? After the game as captain, there was like kind of no urgency in there. We had some good chances, we didn't take them. I mean, at least Martin, you said to keep faith with Benny and Clark because they hadn't shown you enough in the Birmingham City game, and is that exactly what he did? Obviously, Chaplin went into the middle. Al Hamidi, well, I mean, look, he should be bossing that level. That's the level he came from against his old club, of course. Forgotten about that. He played for them in the non-league, but I don't think he'd even get into the Bromley side, to be honest with you. That Michael Cheek they brought on. I mean, let's not forget that was Tux. That was 7 changes Bromley made. That was actually Bromley's second string. Yeah. Which is why I don't understand why Ipswich played with such a lack of urgency in the first half. Go to goal down, played all right in the second half, having not been able to get in our own dressing room. We had to use the team coach, didn't we? Because there was a sewage problem.
Yes.
Probably. Must have been all that works they're doing around the stadium, I guess. So that was weird as well to have to go back onto the team bus in order to do that. But it's a night to forget when no one's covered themselves in glory again against lower league opposition again.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. I lost count after 40 seconds, but we'll let it go. We'll let it slide because you've got to get it out of the system. Tux, 40 seconds or less. Give us your Bromley event and then we can turn the page.
I'm going to be a bit controversial here, but I'm just really not that fussed. I'm not really that bothered.
Okay. All right. Talk to us.
Because, I think for me, the focus is always the league form, the league campaign. And okay, we didn't start brilliantly against Birmingham, but ultimately, do we want a cup run? I mean, at this point where we haven't got squad depth is for me a real concern at the moment. We haven't really got the squad to go and do a cup run this year. We've got a few injuries, got a couple of players that want to leave. So, at the moment we're sort of in a bit of a no man's land, I think, with our squad at the moment, and obviously, we need signings through the door. But for me, last night, I wasn't really that fussed, to be honest with you. Yes, it's embarrassing. Of course it is. But, I suppose, like Matt said earlier, like, how many times have we seen this before? So,
exactly.
I'm not really that bothered, to be honest.
No, and that's absolutely fair enough. Some fans are bothered. Some are really not bothered. There's no middle ground, it feels like, at the moment. You're either not fussed. And I think you're like me, Tux. You've been here before. You've seen it. You've done it. I said in the match preview, didn't I, Matt, about AFC Wimbledon vibes? And actually, it turned out to be AFC Wimbledon vibes.
You could have just run the same show. I like how you use no man's land there, Tux. That's the flip side to the wilderness. It's in the same territory.
I think the only thing I would say is maybe if we were to stay in the cup, then obviously it's a positive for players like Ogbene that might have more of a chance of playing more games, especially if he might not start the next few games for whatever reason. Like, at least he's got some opportunities to then build up his fitness and also some of the fringe players as well. So that's the only real sort of positive I would take if we had have gone through, because we're not going to get that far, let's face it. So
and winning games. If you have a cup run, you're winning games, then that's been few and far between in the last 12 months, hasn't it? In all competitions.
Yeah, so I'm a little bit with Tux. I'm not overly bothered. I mean, the performance was really poor, particularly in the first half. Second half, a little bit better. If Ali had scored the goal, I think what McKenna said after the game was probably true. If we'd won the game, you'd have felt second half we did enough and we improved. But it is what it is, and I've seen it. Just rerun the tape in terms of AFC Wimbledon or whoever from the last. Well, I'm 30. What am I, 35, 36 now? Over the last 20 years, it feels like first round of cups is what we exit on. Talking
Town, mate, in the history of Talking Town, that what I mentioned earlier is all in the history since we're doing the pod, and that's what 5 years. Exactly. There's 5 or 6 clubs we've just named there, so.
Exactly. Let's get some fan comments from the viewers before we turn the page. Harp says, like when you first download FIFA and create you'll know all about this, Matt. You are the FIFA king in Talking Town. Say Talking
I'm not bloody good at it, but I like it. Yeah.
I'm about to say Talking Town Towers, but it's more of a shed. Talking Town shed. It's like when you first download FIFA and create your ultimate team full of bronze players and chemistry is 0. See, I don't understand a single word Harps has just written there, but I'm guessing you understood intricately every word of what he meant there?
It's one of the game modes.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. As long as somebody did, because I certainly didn't. He lost me past FIFA. We have no set midfield right now, says Dominic Dean. We should have a replacement for Morse before he went, even just a top CM, not necessarily a captain. Welcome in, Sneaky Squid. Hope you're well. Get involved in the comments. Stephen, just want to say a massive thank you to my mum in New Zealand. Sent me a package of 2 last season shirts, as I can't afford it to fancy my. Okay, well, congratulations, Stephen. What sort of shirts are they? Get some pictures for us, Stephen. What sort of town shirts have you got? Because Tux is wearing some town merchandise there. You won't catch me in a town shirt. This is a match day. What are you wearing?
Metro Man Randy Savage top.
Excellent.
Old school
All right.
WWF.
It is old school WWF. You're right.
Tux is putting his leisure pound into the club money.
Yes, the leisure pound. Okay, talking of which, this part of the show is brought to you by Match Bingo, combining the excitement of live sports with the thrill of bingo. Your card has 15 random events from a live football match, and you watch them get marked off as the game unfolds. It's a brand new way to enjoy live football. You must be 18 or over. Terms and conditions apply. And please, as I always say, whatever you do, gamble responsibly. Visit begambleaware.org for more information. Links are in the description, or scan the QR code which is on the screen. Either I'm reading the message, so I can't see which way it is, but it's somewhere, right?
Very confusing when you're pointing on the screen, isn't it?
Just somewhere on the screen is that there is a QR code. There, that one there. Scan that one there. That one there. Scan the QR code for more information, or to play. Right, I've made a Talking Town match card, if you like. Right, 5 moments from this week in the world of Ipswich Town. 2 have already happened against Bromley, a missed penalty, or several missed penalties, and conceding a corner. Right, 3 I'm now watching out for on Sunday are the following, and I want you to tell me individually who do you think, what do you think, right? Who's ending up with the most yellow cards for Town this season? Will we finally see a goal from outside the box? Yeah, I'll go with those 2 first of all. Who's taking it? Who's scoring the first goals from outside the box, and who's leading the yellow cards this season? Talk to me.
I think with yellows, you might be, depending on how many games he plays, he's actually young, because I think he got 8 or 9 yellows for Everton in 19 starts or something last season, and a red card. So he could carry that Moulsey mantle. Matasiwa, we can know from the St Andrews game that he can do a sort of Moulsey cynical tackle when needs be, and I think maybe a shot outside the box if he plays Sunday, maybe Jack Taylor. But that's something you put that on your card, mind. Don't see him do that enough either, do we? Unfortunately,
no, we don't. Tux.
I think yellows. I think is either going to be Matasiwa or Taylor. I think, depending on if we sign another central midfielder, I suppose.
We've got Jens Kuyt in the building as well, though. Now, Tux.
Yeah.
So how does that affect?
I think I'll probably just edge it over Matasiwa, because I think he'd probably ultimately be playing with Kuyt, I would have thought. So, yeah, I think Matasiwa for yellows, and then shot from outside the box, first goal.
Not this week. Doesn't have to be this week, but in terms of who will score the first goal from outside the box.
I'm going to go Jack Clark.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah, okay. Why Jack Clark? Why does he edge it for you?
Because I think when he does cut in off the left, he does like to take a shot, and I think ultimately it'll probably be outside of the box, I would have thought. So yeah, I think probably Jack Clark's a good bet for that. All
right, and I've left the biggest one till the end. All right, this is the massive one. This is the granddaddy of them all. This is the one that probably is never going to happen, as far as I'm concerned. And I want a very quick 5-10 second reaction. All right, because it's such a big thing. It is never going to happen. Will Town ever score a corner? Yes or no?
Yes. We don't know when it will be, Martin.
Nobody does.
We can just hope.
Nobody does. No, obviously, for those that have been long-term viewers, a bit tongue-in-cheek. But yeah, match bingo, over 18s only, 10 conditions apply, and please gamble responsibly. Visit begambleaware.org for more information. Right, Southampton up this Sunday. Who should start? That's the question. Who should start up front? I'm not going to go for the whole team, because if I go for the whole team, we could be here until, well, perhaps not till Christmas, because there's very few options. But we'll go front 4, because that's the most important 4. I think, because question marks over Ogbene, Clark in the early games. Who do you play as a 10? So, Tux, kick us off. Who's your front 4 and why for this Sunday?
Again, probably a bit controversial, but I think I'll probably stick with the 4 that we had at Birmingham, because ultimately these players need games, and I think at the moment they're probably our best available options at the moment. Obviously, Amari's not about. Broadhead's probably going to be off, so I don't know what's happening with Philogene at the moment, but I think that's at the moment. I mean, you could potentially take Chaplin in instead of Shimodix, but again, for me, I was talking to someone else about this, that Chaplin and Shimodix at the moment are seen as the 10s this year, but Shimodix hasn't really played all that much as a 10 for us in his time with the club, and I know he's been injured and all that sort of stuff, but when he's been available, he hasn't really played as that 10. And I've always wanted to see him more as a 10 for us. So if he gets a regular opportunity to do that, you've seen what he's done for Blackburn. You see what a threat he is at this level. So for me, I'll just be kind of sticking with what we've got at the moment. And some of the issues that we had at Birmingham is because Ogbene's not 100% match fit, is he? So he's only going to get match fit if you play him. Clark needs to have games in and out of the team last year.
Yeah,
I've just mentioned Shimodix, and obviously Hurst is going to be the main striker moving forward anyway. So for me, it's got to be that sort of stick with what you had at Birmingham, I suppose.
Which is you've kind of got to, because as Joe says, there's not many options, and only got the choice of 4 from 5. Hurst, Sammy, Chaplin, Ogbene, Clark. That's your lot, isn't it? And that's kind of why I highlight this, Matt, because you're facing in the first 2 games of the season who will consider as promotion rivals. Now, no season is won and lost in August. That just does not happen. But at the weekend, we saw Southampton bringing on a whole host of different options as they chased the game, as they were pressing to get back into the game at home to Wrexham. They brought on so many. It felt like they brought on about 20 strikers in pursuit of that goal. We're struggling here to try and change the front 4 with options. Now, the squad's not ready. The season started. No leagues won in August. But, Matt, that's why I'm kind of highlighting it, because you're probably going to go for the same sort of 4 as Tux. Or if you don't, there's only one change. But who's going to change it from the bench if we need it?
Yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it? And I don't know why the performances... I don't know why the Birmingham City performance was so flat for the majority of the game, and it was pretty flat last night, given that we've come on this show and said the 4 pre-season games, whatever it was, played very well in. I was very optimistic. We were scoring goals. We looked good moving forward. We passed the ball nicely. There was a good tempo for these pre-season games, certainly in the Aberdeen one, which I thought was one of the standout performances, and going into against Auxerre as well. And I thought, and I said on the show the Sunday, wherever it was mine, I thought we'd replicate the Auxerre game at Bromley last night and probably come out to 3-0 winners. That's kind of how I envisaged it going. Obviously, it hasn't happened like that. I still think like people are overreacting a little bit, and the fact that we didn't play well at Birmingham but still got the point, which is why all the Birmingham City fans have been coming onto our YouTube comments with the bleeding ump, because we've stolen the point with a dodgy pen right at the end. So they'll just have to get over that. That's done and dusted, as we've now got to get over losing to Bromley on penalties. I would make a very good point there, Tux. Where is Philogene? Because he went off against Auxerre, having just mentioned him just now. And a lot of people, if social media are to be believed, that was his season was gone. And McKenna said it wasn't too bad. And, we feel like he's on the periphery of getting back in the side. But when is that going to be? I've not seen the club say that, and I've not seen the local media ask that question or report it. And we haven't got the luxury to be able to ask them that.
The only thing that I've seen is
the conversation is Tux.
Yeah, the only thing I've seen regarding Philogene was that his injury isn't as bad as it was first feared. So I don't know what that means. That's all I've heard really from two Christmas. So yeah.
So who knows? So I would like to play Jaden in one of these flanks, probably the right hand side, on Sunday if he was available. If not, I would probably play Ogbene. And I don't want to be too harsh on Ogbene really, because he's not really played any football, has he, since October, November. That's a long time to be out. Even he probably didn't kick a ball for 6 months or whatever that was. But he hasn't looked great shakes, and he's still a bit of an unknown quantity to us because he got injured so early on after buying him from Luton. At the moment, he doesn't look an £8 million player to me. He had a nice little flash of brilliance last night. Got the cross in for the Chaplin shot that rebounds out for Johnson to score. that was really good. Let's see some more of that. If he's to play on Sunday, then so be it. But my preference would be Jayden. I would put Chaplin in the middle. Captain last night, played quite well, as I just said. Really good control, I think, with the chest or his knee and the volley. It was a good save from the keeper.
Really good.
To score. So that was good. Had lots of chances, Chaplin, last night. Probably should have put one of them away. But there we go, he didn't. And I would probably put Smodics on the left, given us what Tux was saying there. I mean, look, everyone keeps sleeping on the fact that 2 seasons ago he was a championship top scorer. A lot of those goals was coming in from the left-hand side, centrally into the box to score. So I think he can do that and obviously support Hurst as the 9. I said in the last show, I was 100% confident Hurst would score against Birmingham. For some reason, I wasn't confident when he hit the ball last night, and neither was he, because it was nothing like all the other penalties we've seen in pre-season or in other seasons, or what we saw on Friday night at Birmingham, in a far more pressure environment as well, which was weird. But and I think maybe Akpom hopefully will be available from the bench. But again, we don't really know what kind of pre-season he's had. Has he been right through the mix of blacks? I don't know. No idea.
Do you think we'll see any minutes from Akpom this Sunday, Matt?
Well, I'd like to think so. I hope so. I mean, you know, the supporters at the moment need a shot in the arm, and I think probably bringing someone on like Akpom, who like Smodics has done it, nearly 30 goals from him with Borough, sort of 3 seasons ago. You know, might just give us that shot in the arm, but we'll see. I think it's too early for him to start. I mean, but who knows? But we don't know where he is in his pre-season. We don't know what his fitness is like. We don't know what his stamina is like. Again, these are questions. These are basic questions the fans should know about.
10, 15 minutes?
Maybe.
I mean, you can't be surely, like 10. That's not a massive leap. And I see Joe Tux, and I'll ask you the same question, but in terms of Jens Karius, do you think we'll see any minutes out of him on Sunday? And Joe says McKenna never just throws in these players just like that. We won't be seeing Karius or Akpom starting until October, which I would question that and say, are we really calling Jens Karius a new player? I mean, that's a technicality, is it not? Because he was here literally 7 weeks ago. What if I looked at my calendar while Tux tells me we'll see any minutes? I could probably count between 7 to 9 weeks. We were talking about a Premier League game where he would be starting. So, I mean, yes, he's a new player, Tux, but he's not a new player in the sense of not seeing him until October starting. Surely.
No, but I suppose it's more that, you know, he's not had a pre-season like we don't know what his pre-season's been like. So I think it would be a bit much to
35,000 feet, I think, isn't it? That's most of his pre-season speed. If you read the media.
But yeah, for me, I think it would be a bit too early just to kind of throw him in, because we don't know what his pre-season's been like.
Yeah.
But what I would say to Joe's comment is that Kieran McKenna doesn't always throw people in.
He does not.
I felt he threw Ogbene in at Birmingham because he's not played a lot of football. So technically, you're throwing him in.
That's options, though, isn't it? Who else are you going to throw in?
Yeah, exactly. That's the reason. But ultimately, from Ogbene's point of view, I suppose, or a fan's point of view, you could say, well, he's sort of throwing him in, and you kind of knew he was going to get substituted probably around the sort of the hour mark because he hasn't got the legs for it yet. So, yeah, I mean, yeah.
The thing is, and Hamish says McKenna addressed these questions last night at the post-match press conference. Akpom and Karius both not much for pre-season, in particular Karius. I get that. No one. I don't think any of us on this show right now are sitting here saying Jens Karius should start, Akpom should start. I don't think any of us are saying that.
No.
What I'm saying is 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Is that a massive leap?
Yeah, I think what we'll see is that, again, like, you know, the way these squads are in modern day football now is that you have to utilise your squad, and that's my point earlier, that, you know, we are looking a bit thin on the ground in terms of numbers and quality. But, you know, you'll see Akpom and Karius be on the bench against Southampton at the weekend, and they'll both probably come on, you know, any time after sort of 70 minutes, I would have thought. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Matt, I mean, is it a huge leap for you to think, okay, all right, even if they've had not a single minute of pre-season, considering how, you know, the season didn't end that long ago, et cetera, would 10 minutes be a surely? Or am I dreaming?
Well, I mean, sort of just seeing some of the comments there, and apparently Akpom was mentioned by McKenna in the presser last night. He said a very broken pre-season without any match minutes yet, and obviously a very disruptive week last week, to say the least. This makes me think, when do they feel like he's going to be ready to come into a season that started a little bit, well, in the supporters' line, certainly, in quite flat.
I don't know why he couldn't have got minutes last night, if I'm honest. Because I feel like it feels like at the moment, Akpom, Amari, and Broadhead, we're at a point at the moment where we're kind of not letting them get away with things. I don't want to say that about a new sign that's just come in, but certainly for the latter two, we're making excuses for them. And it's almost like, look, if you want to play, play. If you don't. And obviously Omari doesn't want to play at the moment. But Akpom, surely he's chomping at the bit to play.
I imagine he is.
So I would have given him at least a half.
And he was pre-season tempo last night as well. So I mean, wouldn't have hurt. But it's just very interesting that the two players we've got, Martin. Sorry, the two players we've brought in, and everyone's quite excited about, haven't actually done a pre-season. So it's going to be as we are.
What's a pre-season? Coach only left in May.
Well, I mean, he's not been through the training regime. He's not had any match minutes.
Until he's done a bleep test, Matt.
The bleep test, yeah.
He ain't started, all right?
He's not the most reliable on the injury front either, is he? So, I mean, they have got to treat him with kid gloves.
Yeah.
This, to me, suggests they didn't get really the targets they wanted. Yeah. I don't think their A-list targets would have been players that have not had a pre-season. Yeah. They've brought players in that was ready to hit the ground running. And neither Akpom or Kahuste, by the sounds of it, are ready to hit the ground running. But we're all seeing it as fans because everyone's like perceiving the season as a, no one liked the performance at Birmingham for whatever reason, even though we didn't lose, and no one liked the result. No one liked the result last night.
Yeah,
but these ain't going to come in and change it Sunday. I can't see it.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. I feel like that certainly Akpom turned into more of a, dare I say it, panic signing. I think it's a decent signing. I like him. I think he's a very good, backup to Hurst. But were we really in for him? Was he one of our main targets? I don't think so.
It's probably that Gouet, wasn't it?
I feel like Kayust, if that was a real number one target, that could have got done a lot earlier.
They wanted Hackney. That's what I'm saying. These are not the A options, are they?
Yeah. Well, no, and I wouldn't say a panic because of how long is left in the window. There's still some time, and we're not approaching sort of deadline day. Grab what you can while you can to stock up until January. But it's just interesting, you think about how good modern players are at looking after themselves. It's all you hear in the modern press is how good they are. And I'm thinking, can we not just, because as Matt said, I think fans need a shot in the arm. I think fans need to see somebody new, even if they parade them around the pitch at half time. Like, just give, because I think, it's still only August, still plenty of early days. But you've lost to Bromley, you've got a point at Birmingham. The last time we saw Town win at home feels like a long time ago.
Last year in the league.
Yeah, but when last year? Like, honestly, that's not me being facetious. When last year?
It was the end of December, wasn't it, the Chelsea
end of
game?
December. So just give us I think, as a collective, maybe a little jolt, little bit of positivity.
I don't know why he couldn't have played last night. I don't know why he couldn't have. It's either one of these two scenarios where he starts the game, plays 45 minutes, you take him off because obviously you want to rest him. You give him 45 minutes in the tank, or you give him from 70 minutes towards the end of the game. So I don't know why he couldn't have played last night unless there was some, benign reason. I don't know.
Well, I was going to say maybe they were just, keeping him back for, you never know, the weekend.
Yeah, but the thing is, you've got to look at it and you think, like, ultimately he is going to be Hurst's number 2, right? So,
with his goal scoring record, you may even think eventually he might elbow Hurst out
possibly.
Be
But
number one.
That's great competition, and you want that. You don't want Ali and Hurst because Ali's never going to be the main striker. So I welcome that, but it's almost that how is he going to get match fit if he isn't playing games? It's as simple as that, really, isn't it?
It very much is, yeah.
Doesn't have any other opportunities, does he? I mean, would he have done any worse than El Hamidi last night? Probably not. No. I mean, McKenna did say that he's got 2 sort of roles he thinks that Akpom can play, probably the 9, and he got all his goals in the 10 role, playing a little bit deeper for Borough, which is why I think now, even Sky started saying last night, Nathan Broadhead, even though he's ill, he's going to be going to Wrexham, because I think that will allow Smodics to go out onto the left, or Clark, or Philogene, whoever it's going to be be on that left role. I think you could see Akpom, well, if you scored 30 goals pretty much from that role, in a Borough team, you're going to play that in Kieran McKenna's team, I would say, and then they'll probably loan Al Hamidi out. Then you've got to find a third striker. We're going to do the whole season on Akpom and Hurst, are we? Given Hurst his injury record.
Yeah.
And you got to believe, obviously, McKenna, one of his best friends or one of his friends in football, Michael Carrick, he's picked up the phone several times and said, give me the lowdown, give me the ins, give me the outs, how do you get the best of him, etc., etc. So that is an exciting signing. What I'm really quite excited about, because as I said when we signed him on the quick reaction video I did, if you get half the number of goals he got for Borough, he got a ridiculous amount in that season that earned him a move away. Even if you get half, that's 14, 15 goals. And you need collectively 14, 15, 7 or 8, which is why I'm upset about Broadhead potentially leaving, because I do think the year we were promoted, would he get 13 goals? Okay, off the bench, let's half those, 7 goals, 6, 7, 8 goals. They're important goals because they all add up when you're a team that wants to get promotion, because goals are what's going to get you out of this division. And Womble says the championship is a scrap and long roller coaster ride. I think we want to see the embers of the play that got us up as soon as possible. All right, gut check time for this weekend. The gut meter. Where are we on the confidence scale? 1 to 10. 1 being we may as well not bother. Forfeit the game. Throw in the towel. I'll meet you down the local pub. 10 being it's only Lincoln at home. We shouldn't worry, right? Famous last words. Yeah. He knows. So where are we? 1 to 10, and why? Tux, where are you?
I think in terms of out of 10, I mean, I'd probably give a 6 or a 7, to be honest. I mean, looking ahead to the weekend, I think that we will have, well, not even to the weekend. I think for the next 3 to 4 games, I think we're going to have a very slow start.
Okay.
That's my sort of prediction, really.
Okay. All right. No, we'll take that. 7 says ITFC Beard. 7 says Womble. 7 to 8 says Sean. 5 says Harps. 5 is one of the... Look, I want to know why you lovely people are saying this in the chat. Why have you gone 7? Why have you gone 5? 80 also has gone 5, one of our YouTube members. 6 and 6 from Paul. Look at that. I mean, we're getting some 5s and 6. Chris Boyd says 5 based on what we've seen so far. So suddenly Tux looks really overly optimistic. All of a sudden, Matt, where are you?
I'm probably about a 7, I would say. So similar to what Tux was saying there. I think I said when the fixtures came out, I thought we'd probably get a draw at Birmingham, or try not to lose that game. And I thought Southampton would probably be a draw. And I do think a combination of Ipswich, Birmingham, Southampton is going to finish in that top 3. So thereby, this is the really tough start to the season when you're playing the promotion rivals kind of back to back in the league, most certainly. I mean, look, probably our season will mirror how Leeds came down from the Premier League. And you'll remember they came, and that was our only defeat, wasn't it? The 4-3 at Portman Road. But they had a player who didn't want to play, Willie Nonto. He came back for that game, didn't he? They signed Joel Perot for 10, 11, 12 million. He scored in that game. So maybe and they didn't go off to the greatest of starts. So maybe our season, transitioning from the Premier League back into the Championship, is mirroring them a little bit. But I think it'll be a really tough game. But look, Southampton weren't very good against Wrexham. I watched that match. They had to rely on a worldy free kick in the 90th minute. And the momentum of that, a bit like we saw with Sarmiento against them in the promotion season, got them down to the end of the pitch to score again. But they got a 1-0 win against Northampton last night, I think. But they weren't brilliant, I don't think, against Wrexham particularly. But of course, they get the win. They're in a slightly different space. Last-minute winner. They can come into Portman Road and think they're going to probably turn us over. We've lost to Bromley. We'll wait and see. But look, we've had 2 difficult away games. The furnace that was St Andrews, the tight League 2/non-league ground that was Bromley last night. Back on home turf Sunday. It's not been a happy hunting ground over the last 12 months. Hopefully we can turn it around. But it will be a very difficult game because they're promotion candidates along with ourselves.
Joe says 5. Craig says 8. We knew we'd have slow starts because we played the other 3 favourites early. 7 from Lynn. 7 ITFC beer based on because I know we can scrap out a result when we need to. We've done it. We never have the strongest of starts. Dominic, meanwhile, ladies and gentlemen, Dominic has gone with a 3. He's gone low with a 3. 80 says 5. We need a league win to boost my confidence. I have dropped a link, by the way, if you do want to come on and have your say on anything you've heard so far on the gut check meter. Come on and have your say. It's what the platform's all about. For fans, by fans. But don't forget, we are partnered with Stowmarket Osteopaths, offering professional osteopath and physiotherapy services in Suffolk since 1985. Their registered practitioners provide individual assessments and tele-treatments. To find out if they can help you, give them a call on 01449 613 633 and tell them Talking Town has sent you. Freddie's the governor there. Great guy. Give him a call. Tell him Talking Town has sent you. And yeah, away you go. 01449 613 633. Maccabi says 9. It's a marathon, not a sprint, and we will get there, no doubt about it. All right, I'm going to take the overlays off because I've still not managed to create an overlay with 4 on. All right, so bear with while we add ITFC Beard to the situation. Beard, how are you, my man?
I'm good. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Very well. I say very well. We've got 3 from Dom. We've got these 2 being overly optimistic compared to the chat. You said a 7 yourself. What gives you the confidence to say 7?
I think those are reactionary results from last night. I think if you look at the broader picture, we always had a little wobble at the beginning of the games, and those cup games are always banana skins for us. For some reason, we just don't seem to do well in them. We focus more on the league. We should be kicking their bums, but it is what it is, and you have to focus on the team as a whole. We've scrapped out results. We've come back from silly results where we should lose, and we've come back and we've won. At the core of it, we have a really strong squad still. If they get their confidence back, love you too, Dom. Shout out to the rest of the Discord crew. But yeah, so I do think that we can definitely scrap out a result. We'll do it. You just don't panic, everybody. Get the buttons off the panic buttons and just think about it. We're a good team. We love our team, and we will do this. Yeah,
you were on last night's show. How are you feeling now? Sat here, an evening removed. Lewis O'Connor in our chat says evening. Ali isn't good enough. We need another striker. Although we have signed Akpom. Obviously, Ali had that chance right at the end. He missed it. He had the penalty. Penalty for me is a penalty shootout. Someone's got to miss. Otherwise, we'd still be playing today. But the miss at the end, he's not even hit the target. Surely he's got to score. Is he, Beard?
I think I'm in the same sentiment as most people. That's his level. To quote George Hurst, that's his bread and butter. Like, that should be.
George's bread and butter last night either, was it?
I said, that was sourdough, not bread pudding. It wasn't, and another loan out to a League One team and then option to buy. I don't think he is good enough for us. We grew too fast. I think he had that, quite a good spell. And we're like, okay, this is a potential, but he's not living up to it. And sometimes you just have to cut ties and just be honest with it and be like, there's better options. I think Kone at Wickham is, someone we should be picking up. I think probably suits us a bit better than Ali Al-Hamidi.
Has he gone to QPR?
Yeah, I thought they put a bid in. Has he gone there now?
Sure.
I was waiting to be before I came on the show, and obviously I didn't fact check the account, so it might be one of these accounts that just post stuff. But I'm sure I saw waiting to be announced.
Let's be honest. Akpom was announced for pretty much certain for Birmingham. So never say never.
I think we need better than Richard Kone, to be honest. I mean, he's still.
Oh yeah, but as a backup option, you got Harris. You've got Akpom, and then a third understudy to who's got a high ceiling.
Yeah, it's going to have to do another one. I mean, one rule is never to give Al-Hamidi a penalty ever again. He's taken 4 now and missed 3.
Never again. And he should have scored that one as well. We're going to put the game away, but we always have them banana skin games. Always.
I think they need someone of Kone's physicality. I mean, because he's a big lad and scored goals at Wickham, didn't he? We probably just need someone maybe a little bit more seasoned in order to be competing for the top 2. I think Kone would be a risk, wouldn't he? He could be just another Ghassan Mahadmi, Al-Hamidi. He's had a good season. Can he do it for a team that's pushing promotion to the Premier League? I mean, that's an unanswered question, isn't it? Don't really know.
You're always going to have those questions, aren't you? Because you never know until you actually put them in the opportunities. It's always, unless we go out for, these League 2 European players and the second divisions go, okay, they've scored X amount of goals, and you're like, okay, are they going to be good enough for the Championship Premier League? And then if you get anyone higher, they're going to cost a shed load more.
Yeah, exactly that. Who was that guy we liked at QPR, mate? Was it Sinclair Armstrong? Where's he now? Everyone loved him, didn't they?
And yes, by the way, it has been announced. Kone has gone to QPR. All right, Ben, but anything else before I let you go? Thanks for jumping on the show. It's always a pleasure hearing and seeing you. Anything
Always. No, I'm all good. I'm all good. I've got a spag bowl in the oven, so I need to go and sort that out.
Very nice. Go and enjoy. Go and enjoy.
Always cooking.
He is. He's a chef. He's a chef. Of course, he's always cooking. He's a chef. All right. I've got a little bit of something different for you now, right? It is called the Fan Social, right? Now, hear me out. We've got a fan social, 3 posts from the Talking Town community. I've kept them anonymous tonight, but if you people at home want to be name checked on the next fan social, continue leaving your comments on any of our content and you might just make it on the air. So fan social, 3 comments, and you two have to tell me if the poster is spot on or heading for the wilderness. All right? The wilderness is
no man's land. Yeah.
Big thing at the Talking Town, the wilderness. And of course, only one rule. It's the Talking Town rule. Debate, but keep it about the opinion. All right. So here we go. Here's the first one. We have returned to the championship a weaker team, and I suspect that McKenna will be gone by next year without major recruitment. The fact we miss Morsey is due to him not being adequately replaced when we were promoted. The reason that fans keep insisting on Clark turning into a world beater is because he was a terrible signing, but it's easy to blame the gap than acknowledge a lost cause. I'm grateful to McKenna for back-to-back promotions, but the problems we have now are all related to our poor tactical management, recruitment, whilst in the Premier League. I want a verdict from you, Tux. Is that poster spot on or in the wilderness? And then, Matt, you're going to respond to it.
It's a hard one, that one, because there's some things I agree with, some things I don't.
Yeah.
But I think maybe wilderness, potentially.
Heading towards the wilderness. Matt, respond.
I'm probably leaning more towards spot on. I mean, do you know what I mean? I mean, look, what has everyone said through the Premier League campaign? The recruitment wasn't good enough, and it was picking cream of the crop championship players to try and compete at that level. Clearly didn't work. So, I mean, he's right from that point of view. I mean, look, you've got to give Kieran more than just 2 games. One against Birmingham City, who are going to be competing for the top 2, and a League Cup game where he hasn't got a particularly great record with Ipswich in that competition anyway, as we said at the top. But I do get some of his points there. But look, people are far too quickly to point fingers after 2 matches. No one was saying this in pre-season a fortnight ago. And then you get to the competitive games, one in the league, one in the cup, and no one's happy. As I said earlier, Leeds started like this as well. I think they had something like 5 points from 6 games or 6 from 5, something like that. And then they were competing, really should have gone up automatically. It's only that loss at QPR screwed them up, didn't it? Opened the door for us when they got done 3 or 4-0, whatever it was. Weird result. So it's a long old season. There's still 45 games to go. It still may get sticky for us. I mean, I'm not really particularly looking forward to Southampton coming to Bournemouth Road, given what we've seen in the last 2. But yeah, I would lean towards more spot on what that guy was saying. Yeah, I mean, there's a culture at Ipswich now that Ashton and McKenna can do no wrong, which is dangerous territory to be in, because then you're in a comfort zone and they can't be questioned. And we were questioning them last season. The only reason I don't think Ipswich got rid of McKenna last season was because no one could think of anyone better to come in and replace him. Everyone replaced their managers around us, didn't they? Everyone replaced them other than us.
Yeah. Dominic Dean, who's got receipts, says, Matt, we won the championship last time. You wanted Chris Wilder. Yet we got promoted.
I bet you Sheffield United still want Chris Wilder after that Bristol City.
I saw actually a fan. Was it a fan phoning where they were saying about they need to sack the manager? That was after 1 game. All right, Tux, your turn to give the verdict. Matt's turn to give the verdict. Tux, your turn to respond. We've got this comment. Reality is we have a confidence problem. Having been beaten in the Premier League and won 4 of the last 40 games, the squad is in flux with key departures and others wanting to leave and new players coming in. Lots of expectation on top that we will walk the league. McKenna has a real job on his hands to manage the situation, but we can get through August and early September in one piece. Then we should be able to push on. And with the quality we have, if we can get them playing as a team, we will be okay. What worries me is the lack of fight and urgency. Matt, is he spot on? Is he or she spot on or heading towards the wilderness? And then Tux, you're responding.
Yeah, spot on. I think again, I would agree with that. Look, certainly Chaplin said it himself last night. There was no urgency in the play. We said it earlier. You watched the first half, people were dropping off, falling asleep. There was no atmosphere in the ground. None of the Bromley. There was 497 Ipswich fans there approximately. So they were going to be quiet compared to their usual standards. Bromley didn't seem to have a culture of singing there. So then suddenly you're in this 5,000 seater stadium sold out, and it's all a bit, it's hot. where it's warm, it gets to this sort of very slow tempo, and we concede, and then we're playing catch up for the rest of the game. But look, we haven't got a crystal ball, have we? So we don't know how it's going to pan out. But I would say for Ipswich fans, look, don't sleep on the point we got at St Andrews. That's a very good point with a team that got 111 points in League One last season and won all their games and didn't lose any, and drew one at home. And you saw what a furnace it was there. Very hostile environment. You're obviously playing Sheffield United tonight in the Cup. I'd be interested to see if it's the same kind of atmosphere. That's a really good point. And they did, even though we didn't play very well, we kept on going to the very end, forced a penalty and scored it. So the confidence is there. It's just not in the abundance that you've seen in the last 2 seasons of back-to-back promotions. They would have, if the confidence wasn't there, they would have folded and lost 2-3-0 at St Andrews, and they didn't.
All right, and this one is solely for you, Tux, because Matt obviously stole both the verdict and the response there. Not playing the rules of the game. No one ever play Monopoly with Matthew Phillips, because I've got a feeling the board will be flipped over after the first go round. You get 200 quid. So Tux, this is the last one just for you. Championship squad that previously played in the Premier League. Perspective needed. This season is going to be hard.
Yeah, spot on. I think. I think it will be hard. It will be hard. There's at this stage of the season, everything is about fitness. Everything is about, to use the Paul Cook line, everyone's got to gel. So, from that point of view, we've still got players to come in. I don't think our transfer business is done yet. I fucking hope it ain't. So from that point of view, then it's going to be hard in these next couple of games coming up. And we're playing. We played Birmingham, which is probably arguably one of the toughest games, especially when we're kicking off literally the championship season on the Friday night, and it's a hard place to go, Birmingham, and they're full on confidence, and I think then coming up against Southampton, these are tough. There's no easy game really, is there, in the championship? But at the same time, it's going to be a long old season. And for me, I think we're going to have a slow start, just because I think we need to really regroup. And I don't know what we've been doing over the summer. I don't know what we've been doing in terms of the recruitment policies, because, just before that West Ham game at the end of last season, Ashton comes out and says, essentially, we're already relegated. But don't worry, we've got our targets in mind. Well, where the fuck are they then? Do you know what I mean?
This is it. Yeah, this is it. We're yeah. I remember. Didn't I hear or read something like being relegated early allowed us to plan? Yeah. Where happened to that one? Yeah, that's
and we signed some decent players. Don't get me wrong. I can't say that you wouldn't give our transfer window a 0 out of 10, but at the same time, players like Hackney that have come in and had I don't know if it's a medical, but certainly come in and had a chat. Why has that not progressed any further?
Anyone joining the show tonight will be thinking, whoa, hang on, what's happening there? Hackney's coming. No, for anyone, calm down. He's not come in. He came in for a cup of coffee and then soon got himself back down the A14.
Yeah.
Pretty sharpish.
Yeah.
I agree. Look, and when you say players, Masasiwa, Akpom and Kayus, we know about Kayus, but we haven't seen them, either of them, this year. And there's a big debate we had earlier on the show about when we're going to see them, if we're going to see them, etc., etc. So who have you got? Matasiwa, Button, Kipri,
yeah.
So 2 squad players and a star.
Yeah.
Right, and that's no disrespect to Button or Kipri, but
Akpom.
Yeah, you've not seen Akpom yet, and you're telling me earlier. We might be patient on Akpom and Kayus and all these different things. So that certainly is interesting. Lots of comments coming in. Love it. Keep your comments flying in. Birmingham, I think, have scored, Matt, and Womble's got a really important question before we flip the page and go to our score predictions and first goal scorer. He says, Womble says, Matt, just so I'm clear, what can I sleep on?
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, exactly that. Yeah.
Is that what you got for it? That's all he's got for it. Fair enough. All right. And there will be another show, another video for the Prediction League, which is up and running, and the Survivor League, which is returning. That was obviously something we did last year. So keep your eyes and ears peeled for that. We've got a members only show on Friday as well. Keep your eyes and ears peeled for that. Right. Let's go to the... Before we do, don't forget we are partnered with the Anglian Air Ambulance Lottery. For just £1 each week, you could help keep their yellow heli. I'll read that again. I will start again, ladies and gentlemen. I started, so I will finish.
You've confused yourself.
Haven't I? Just, and I'm melting as well in
It's
this
very
office.
hot. It is very hot. Yeah.
We're proud to be partnered with East Anglian Air Ambulance Lottery. For just £1 a week, you could win up to £1,000 and support their life-saving work, keeping their yellow helicopters flying. There are 18 winners every week. The prizes range from £50 to £1,000. You must be over 18 or over to play. Terms and conditions apply. And please gamble responsibly. For more information, visit begambleaware.org. And it's been a fantastic partnership. But that's right. Moving on. Sorry, I'm literally sweating everywhere. I need to change my t-shirt. You're going to bring it out, I think. Let's move it on to, thank you. The doors just opened magically, like magic. There's a lovely breeze coming through. It's like, please, right. Score prediction. Here we go. Score prediction for this Sunday's game. I want score prediction and first goal scorer. Tux, give it to me. What have you got?
I'm going to go 2-1 Southampton, I think.
Oh, fuck it.
Oh, same as last season. We're done a repeat.
I wish I hadn't fucking asked.
What's you thinking there then, Tux?
I really wish I hadn't
I
asked.
just think we're going to have a slow start, Matt. I think, yeah, I just think until we really get some more bodies in,
yeah, I
think we're going to be having a slow start. I think Southampton will probably arguably also have a bit of a slow start, but I think they'll probably get 3 points at our place.
Okay.
Sorry, Gav.
Are we going to score first? Are you going to give me a little bit of? No. Jeez. I mean, like, I thought I was asking a Town fan to sit in that chair. Apparently, I was asking a Southampton fan to come and sit.
Look at my merch. Look, I'm,
just all the gear, no idea.
Yeah.
Like his goal.
Yeah. Come on, Matt. Redeem the situation here as a fan media podcast. Redeem it, please.
I do agree with Tux on that. I think it's going to be a slow start. Just a slow start. I will go back to what I said back in the summer when the fixtures came out. I think it will probably be a draw, given what we've seen already.
Draw.
Listen, we haven't had much luck against Southampton in the last two games. Everyone keeps thinking back to the Sarmiento goal a couple of seasons ago, but we scrapes a draw at St Mary's, didn't we, in the Premier League? And then they obviously beat us 2-1 back in February. And they will be buoyant after pulling it out of the fire against Wrexham. But I would like to think sold-out crowd. I don't think a 12 o'clock kickoff helps Ipswich at all. We never seem to play well in these lunchtime games.
No.
So I don't think that helps us particularly. But I hope we've got enough in the tank with the crowd as the 12th man to get a draw there. I mean, is that what you want at home against the promotion candidate? Probably not. You want to get all three. But we're threadbare. I agree with what Tux is saying. We're threadbare. We mentioned it earlier. Akpom Tuesday. They're not match fit. They're not going to be playing unless they just get cameos from the bench because we're in dire straits. That's just the space we're in at the moment. If we can get a draw on Sunday, excellent. And it'll be 2 points from two games, and we'll just have to deal with it. And hopefully we can progress from there. We've seen Leeds overcome that before, and hopefully we can do the same.
Yeah, we've got Paul F, Wildly Optimistic, 2-1 Town, Hurst, 3-1 Dominic Dean. He's put it that way, so I'm guessing he's saying 3-1 Southampton. Craig says 2-1 Town. O'Shea from a corner. Craig, you almost had me into the bit about a set piece goal. Behave. Joe, 2-0 Town says Joe. 2-1 says Lynn. Dominic, you are more than welcome to come. I'm actually looking for no offense, gentlemen. Don't take this the wrong way when I say this. I'm actually looking for new faces, new voices. All right. So if you do want to get involved, just message me, Martin at Talking Town. Hang on. I better check my email address before I tell you to say .co.uk. Martin at talkingtown.co.uk. Yeah, and he said .com. Some poor person will be sitting there just getting bombarded with emails saying, I'll come and join you, Gov. And they'll be like,
never heard back.
This is Gov. And what are they all joining? But yes, give it a go. That's all I can say. And Friday night we've got our Talking Town show just for YouTube channel members. Extra content alongside everything you already get for free here on the main channel. Members can take part in the weekly prediction league, join the live chat for our Friday show, and enjoy some behind the scenes discussion you won't see anywhere else. We won't see it anywhere else because obviously it's not even been done yet. So who wrote this?
Exactly. You're having a right old meltdown, aren't you? Literally.
I'm reading my own advert, and I'm thinking, well, of course they can't see it anywhere else because they
Martin wrote this script, everybody. Martin wrote this.
That's like saying you're really going to enjoy Thursday. It's like, well, how do you know? How do you know? Anyway, all right, look, I'm going to end it there. All right, so you can become a YouTube member by hitting the join button. Head there. All the information, T's and C's, payment, etc., is on there.
Good chat in the Discord. Lots of good chat going on, especially after last night.
Yeah, lots of good chat.
Sometimes a little bit of inside track. Yeah.
Before I mill any further, and there's just a puddle on the floor, he has been Mr. Tuxford. That man there's been Mr. Phillips. You've been a wonderful audience. Thank you ever so much for watching. But until Friday, keep your eyes out for our Survivor League video coming out, and that game kicking off again. Where this year it's the Championship, not the Premier League. All right, because we're not in the Premier League. So you've got more teams to choose from, so you should last longer. Matt should certainly get through the first round this year. At the very least.
Early doors. Yeah,
it was a disaster class. If Ashton does master classes, Matt Phillips does disaster classes, or wilderness classes. There you go.
Needed the oxygen. I ran out of oxygen in there.
I need oxygen. That's what I know. Anyway, like, right.
Drink.